Welcome everyone. In today's class we will learn how to balance the redox reaction by ion-electron method. There are basically two methods we are using. One is the oxidation state method and another one is the ion-electron method. So in this class we will just try to figure out how to balance the redox reaction by the ion-electron method. Okay, so in ion-electron method there are several steps through which actually we can balance the redox reaction. The first step is to divide the complete equation into two half reactions. One would be the oxidation half reaction and another would be the reduction half reaction. Now this oxidation half reaction can sometimes be denoted as OHR and the reduction half reactions can sometimes be denoted as RHR, that is the oxidation half reaction and the reduction half reaction. তাহলে ওভারঅল যেটা বলতে হয় সেটা হলো আয়ন ইলেকট্রন মেথডে আমরা যখন কোনো রিডক্স রিঅ্যাকশন ব্যালেন্স করছি আমার ফার্স্ট কাজ হলো ইকুয়েশনটাকে আমি দুভাগে ভাগ করে নিচ্ছি। একটা হচ্ছে অক্সিডেশন হাফ রিঅ্যাকশন আর একটা হচ্ছে রিডক্স হাফ রিঅ্যাকশন। এটা হচ্ছে আমার ফার্স্ট স্টেপ। নাও ইন দ্য সেকেন্ড স্টেপ each of these half reactions should be balanced by the following rules. First of all, in each half reaction the atoms of the elements which undergo or which will undergo a change in their oxidation number should be balanced. মানে প্রথম আমরা কি দেখব, এবার হাফ রিঅ্যাকশনটা যখন আমরা পেয়ে গেলাম অক্সিডেশন হাফ রিঅ্যাকশন আর রিডাকশন হাফ রিঅ্যাকশন আলাদা আলাদা ভাবে, তখন এবারে আমার কাজ হলো অক্সিডেশন হাফ রিঅ্যাকশনটাকে ব্যালেন্স করা আর রিডাকশন হাফ রিঅ্যাকশনটাকে আলাদাভাবে ব্যালেন্স করা। অক্সিডেশন হাফ রিঅ্যাকশন বা রিডাকশন হাফ রিঅ্যাকশন আমরা যখন ব্যালেন্স করছি সেক্ষেত্রে আমার প্রথম কাজ হলো সেই এলিমেন্টটাকে অথবা সেই অ্যাটমটাকে আগে ব্যালেন্স করা যার অ্যাকচুয়ালি অক্সিডেশন স্টেট অথবা অক্সিডেশন নাম্বারের চেঞ্জ হয়েছে। ফর এক্সাম্পল MnO4 মাইনাস থেকে Mn2 প্লাস চেঞ্জ হচ্ছে, তাহলে এখানে অক্সিডেশন স্টেট কার চেঞ্জ হচ্ছে? ম্যাঙ্গানিজের। তাহলে আমি ফার্স্ট দেখবো, ফার্স্ট কাজ হচ্ছে আমার ম্যাঙ্গানিজটাকে আমার ব্যালেন্স করা। যে ম্যাঙ্গানিজ যদি কোথাও এক থাকে, হয়তো লেফট হ্যান্ড সাইডে একটা ম্যাঙ্গানিজ আছে, রাইট হ্যান্ড সাইডে দুটো ম্যাঙ্গানিজ আছে, তাহলে আমি আগে এটাকে ব্যালেন্স করব। মানে যে অ্যাটমের অক্সিডেশন নাম্বার চেঞ্জ হচ্ছে তাহলে ফার্স্ট আমরা তাকে ব্যালেন্স করব। দ্য অ্যাটমস which will have undergone a change in the oxidation number that should be balanced first in each half reaction, whether it is the oxidation half reaction or it is a reduction half reaction. Now when it is already balanced, the next process would be to balance the number of oxygen and hydrogen atoms. Now the solutions can be different. The solutions can be neutral or acidic or basic. Now for the neutral and acidic solutions there is one rule, and for the alkaline solution the rule is different. Now when the solution is neutral or acid, then to balance the oxygen and hydrogen, water and H plus can be added. Now you should first balance the oxygen atom. For each excess oxygen atom one side of the equation, one water should be added to the other side of the equation. I am just explaining once again that in neutral or acidic solutions, to balance the oxygen and hydrogen, water and H plus can be added. As it is neutral or acidic, then H plus can be added there. Okay, so now we will first balance the oxygen atom followed by hydrogen atom. For each excess oxygen atom in one side of the equation, one water should be added to the other side of the equation. Then the oxygen would be balanced, right? Now if hydrogen is balanced then it is okay. Now if hydrogen is still unbalanced, then to balance the hydrogen atoms we will use H plus. Now for each excess hydrogen atom to one side we will use same number of H plus ions to other side of the equation. Now hydrogen is also balanced. So this is actually for the neutral or acidic solutions. But in case of alkaline solution we cannot use H plus we can use water, but instead of H plus we can use OH minus. So the rule is now different. Now for each oxygen atom on one side of the equation, balance is done by adding one water to the same side and 2 OH minus to the other side. For example, if you are having a equation or a redox equation or oxidation or reduction half equation or reaction where you are having 2 excess oxygen in the left hand side in alkaline solution, then to balance these 2 oxygen on the left hand side, we will have to add 2 water on the same side and then 4 OH minus to the right hand side. Okay, for each oxygen on one side, balance is done by adding 1 water to the same side and 2 OH minus to the other side. মানে একটা যদি অক্সিজেন আমার বেশি থাকে তাহলে সেই একটা অক্সিজেনকে ব্যালেন্স করার জন্য একটা ওয়াটার আমি সেদিকেই অ্যাড করব আর দুটো OH মাইনাস আমি উল্টো দিকে অ্যাড করব. Now the oxygen would be balanced as per this method. Now if hydrogen is still unbalanced, then the balance should be done by adding 1 OH minus for excess hydrogen on the same side and 1 water to the other side. দেখো এরপরে যখন আমার অক্সিজেন ব্যালেন্স হয়ে গেছে, আমরা যখন এবার হাইড্রোজেন ব্যালেন্স করব, যদি হাইড্রোজেন ব্যালেন্স হয়ে গিয়ে থাকে তাহলে তো ঠিক আছে, যদি আমার হাইড্রোজেন স্টিল ব্যালেন্স না হয়ে গিয়ে থাকে তাহলে যে সাইডে আমার হাইড্রোজেন বেশি, যতগুলো হাইড্রোজেন বেশি ততগুলো হাইড্রোজেন বেশি হওয়ার জন্য তত সংখ্যক OH মাইনাস আমি সেদিকেই অ্যাড করব আর ঠিক তত সংখ্যক ওয়াটার আমরা উল্টো দিকে অ্যাড করব, তাহলে আমার অল ওভার অক্সিজেন আর হাইড্রোজেন ব্যালেন্স হবে. ওকে, তাহলে আমরা যদি অল ওভার একটা সামারাইজ করি, the steps are, the first step was to divide the equation into 2 half reactions. One would be the oxidation half reaction, another would be the reduction half reaction. Now after reducing these 2 half reactions, we'll have to balance these each half reaction. Okay, now when you are going to balance these each half reaction, the first thing you should remember that you have to balance the atoms which will have undergone a change in oxidation state or oxidation number. Now when the atoms are balanced, then you have to consider to balance the number of oxygen and hydrogen atoms. Now in this case there are 2 rules, because there can be 2 types of solutions. One is the acidic or neutral solution, another would be the alkaline solution. In case of neutral or acidic solution, water and H plus can be added for balancing oxygen and hydrogen. Now to balance the number of oxygen atom, for each oxygen atom in one side of the equation, 1 water should be added to the opposite side or to the other side of the equation. Now if hydrogen is balanced, then that is okay. Now if hydrogen is still unbalanced, then we can use H plus to balance the number of hydrogen atoms. For each excess of hydrogen atom, we will use same number of H plus to the opposite side of the equation. Okay, now in case of alkaline solution, we cannot use H plus, we can use OH minus and water. Now for each oxygen atom which is excess in one side, the balance can be done by adding 1 water to the same side and 2 OH minus to the other side. Now if hydrogen is balanced, then it is okay. But now if hydrogen is still unbalanced, then the balance can be made for each excess hydrogen, 1 OH minus should be added to the same side and 1 water should be added to the other side. Now these oxygen and hydrogen are now balanced. So now we are going to the step 3. When everything is balanced, we have just divided the equation in 2 half reactions. One is oxidation half reaction, one is reduction half reaction. Now the oxidation half reaction is balanced to the atoms and the number of oxygen and hydrogens. Now the reduction half reaction is already balanced through atoms, oxygen and hydrogens. Now the last step is to equalize the charges on both sides. Okay, because they could have the different charges on both sides, means the left hand side and the right hand side of the equation. Now we have to balance the both sides of the equations through charges, and these should be done by adding electrons only. Okay, so suppose the left hand side is having the total positive charge, or the total charge of it is as +4, and the right hand side is having the +2 charge, then you can balance the equation by adding 2 electrons to the left hand side. So whatever would be the thing, that for each excess of positive charge you should add that much of electrons to balance the equation. মানে আমার অল ওভার কি হয়েছে, এবার এখন আমার সবকিছু ব্যালেন্স হয়েছে, লাস্ট হচ্ছে আমার চার্জ ব্যালেন্স করতে হবে। চার্জ ব্যালেন্সের জন্য আমরা যেটা ইউজ করব, শুধুমাত্র আমরা ইলেকট্রনই ইউজ করব। আর ইলেকট্রন মানে কি, ইলেকট্রন মানেই হচ্ছে আমার নেগেটিভ চার্জ। তাহলে আমরা কি বলছি যে লেফট হ্যান্ড সাইড আর রাইট হ্যান্ড সাইডের যে কোনো চার্জ হোক, ফর এক্সাম্পল এটা n প্লাস হলো, এটা m প্লাস হলো, আমি ধরে নিলাম n গ্রেটার দেন m, তাহলে আমার যতগুলো এক্সেস পজিটিভ চার্জ আছে, তাহলে এখানে এক্সেস পজিটিভ চার্জ কি n মাইনাস m, আমি তত সংখ্যক ইলেকট্রন আমি সেই দিকে অ্যাড করবো, তাহলে সেটা আমার ব্যালেন্স হবে। ফর ইচ এক্সেস অফ পজিটিভ চার্জ অন ওয়ান সাইড উই শুড অ্যাড that much of electrons to the same side to balance the overall charge on both sides of the equation. ওকে, তাহলে এটা হলো আমার টোটাল আয়ন ইলেকট্রন মেথডের প্রিন্সিপাল আর টোটাল আয়ন ইলেকট্রন মেথডের প্রসেস। নাও উইল গো টু সাম এক্সাম্পলস জাস্ট টু clarify the things in a more clear way. So these are first example. Balance the following by ion electron method, and here it is mentioned that the medium is acidic. Okay, so now we'll divide the equation. First step, we'll divide the equation into two half reactions. This is the step 1, right? So now this is MnO4 minus plus SO3 2 minus, which is being converted into Mn2 plus SO4 2 minus, right? Now here the oxidation state of manganese is +7, the oxidation state of sulfur is +4. You can calculate it. It is very easy, and we have already done in the previous class. So here the oxidation state of manganese is already given, that is +2, and here it would be +6. Okay, so now what is the oxidation half reaction and reduction half reaction? So this is basically the reduction, right? That is Mn +7 to +2, whereas the sulfur oxidation state is going from +4 to +6. So this is basically the oxidation. So we have already got the oxidation half reaction and the reduction half reaction. What is the oxidation half reaction? Oxidation half reaction is MnO4 minus to oxidation half reaction is SO3 2 minus to SO4 2 minus, and the reduction half reaction is MnO4 minus to Mn2 plus. Okay, we have already got that. Okay, now it is our step 2, that is we have to balance each half reaction, that is the oxidation half reaction and reduction half reaction. So to balance each half reaction, the first step was to balance the atoms which have undergone the change in oxidation state. So now the change in oxidation state is happening for this oxidation half reaction is sulfur, and the sulfur is already balanced because in the left hand side there is one sulfur and the right hand side there is one sulfur, so the sulfur atom is balanced. Now we have to balance the oxygen atoms. So here in the left hand side one oxygen atom is excess, in the right hand side one oxygen atom is excess. So for this excess oxygen atom we have to add one water to the left hand side as per the rule we have already gone so far. Now the oxygen atom is balanced. In left hand side there are 4 oxygen atoms, in the right hand side we have 4 oxygen atoms. Now we have to balance the hydrogen atom. Now in the left hand side there are 2 excess hydrogen atom. So to balance the excess hydrogen atom we have to add 2H plus on the other side of the equation. Okay, so now the sulfur atom is balanced, now oxygen atom is balanced, and now the hydrogen atom is also balanced. What we will have to do now? Now we will have to balance the charge on equal side of the equation. Now in the left hand side there is -2 charge, whereas in the right hand side there is actually 0 charge because it is having the -2 charge, and for 2H plus there is having 2 plus charge, though there here the total charge would be 0, right? Whereas in the left hand side there would be -2 charge. Now here in the right hand side actually having 2 excess positive charge. So what we can do, that we can add here 2 electron to balance the overall equation. So this is the total balance of oxidation half reaction, which can be named as number 1. Now what would be the in case of MnO4 minus? Now the first step is to balance manganese as it is undergoing the change in oxidation number. Now the manganese is already balanced because in the both side there is 1 manganese. Now we have to balance the oxygen atom. In the left hand side there is 4 excess oxygen. To balance the 4 excess oxygen we have to add 4 H2 on the other side. So oxygen is now balanced. Now we have to balance the hydrogen atoms. So in the right hand side there are excess 8 hydrogen atoms, so therefore we have to add 8H plus to the left hand side. Now the manganese, hydrogen and oxygen all are balanced. Now we have to balance the charge on both sides of the equation. Now in the left hand side total charge is 8 plus, right? 8 positive charge in the left hand side. And in the right hand side we have only 2 plus positive charge, right? Sorry, in the left hand side there is 7 plus positive charge, and in the right hand side we have 2 plus positive charge. Now how will you neutralize that? So we will have to add here 5 electron, right? If we are having 5 electron here, so the equation would be balanced. You don't have to write that is 7 plus, that is 2 plus. I am just writing this to explain you. You don't have to write that. ওকে, এটা কিন্তু লেখার কোনো প্রয়োজন নেই, আমি শুধু বোঝানোর জন্য তোমাদের বললাম। তাহলে এবারে এটা কি করব, এটা আমরা এটাকে 2 নম্বর নাম দিলাম। নাও the last step is that you have to multiply these two equations with a suitable number so that the equation on both sides would be cancelled, or the total number of electrons would be cancelled by each other. মানে এমন ভাবে আমরা 1 কে একটা ইন্টিজার দিয়ে এবং 2 কে একটা ইন্টিজার দিয়ে গুণ করব যাতে টোটাল নাম্বার অফ ইলেকট্রনস একে অপরের দুটো সাইড থেকেই কেটে যায়। সেটা কিরকম ভাবে করব? সিম্পল জিনিস, এখানে দুটো ইলেকট্রন আছে আর এখানে কটা আছে? 5টা ইলেকট্রন। তাহলে আমি প্রথম ইকুয়েশন এটাকে আমি তাহলে কি করব, 5 দিয়ে গুণ করব, তাহলে 5 দুগুণে 10টা ইলেকট্রন আসবে। আর এই 2 নম্বর ইকুয়েশনটাকে কি করব, যেহেতু এখানে 5টা ইলেকট্রন আছে একে 2 দিয়ে গুণ করব, তাহলে 10টা ইলেকট্রন আসবে। তাহলে আমি কি করব, আমি করছি তাহলে 1 into 5 প্লাস করে দেবো আমি 2 into 2, 1 into 5 প্লাস করে দেবো আমি 2 into 2। এটা যদি করি তাহলে আমার ফাইনাল ইকুয়েশনটা দেখবে, ফাইনাল ইকুয়েশন যেটা আসবে সেটা আমি লিখছি, সেটা কেটে কুটে আসবে, সেটা তোমরা বাড়িতে একবার করবে, ইট উইল বি আ হোমওয়ার্ক টু ইউ। ফাইনাল যেটা আসবে সেটা হবে আমার 2MnO4 minus plus 6H plus plus 5SO3 2 minus equal হচ্ছে 2Mn2 plus plus 3H2O plus 5SO4 2 minus। এটা হচ্ছে আমার ফাইনাল ইকুয়েশন আসবে। তোমরা মানে এই 1 into 5 plus 2 into 2 করলে whatever you will get that can be further derived into the final equation, মানে যেটা পাবে সেটাকে আবার ফাইনাল ইকুয়েশনে ডিরাইভ করা যায়। এটা হবে আমার ফাইনাল ইকুয়েশন, that is the ultimate balance by the ion electron method. Okay, so we'll move to another example. This is again the example is given in the acidic medium. So we will have the step 1. Step 1 is that BiO3 minus plus Mn2 plus to give bismuth 3 plus plus MnO4 minus. So here the oxidation state of bismuth is plus 5. The oxidation state of manganese is given. Here the oxidation state of bismuth is plus 3, and here the oxidation state of manganese is plus 7. Okay, so what is the oxidation half reaction and what is the reduction half reaction? Okay, the oxidation half reaction is then Mn2 plus to MnO4 minus eta, and the reduction half reaction would be BiO3 minus to Bi3 plus. So how will you balance the oxidation half reaction in acidic medium? So here we have to consider the atoms first which is undergoing the change in oxidation number, but here the manganese is already balanced. So now we will have to consider whether oxygen is balanced or not. The number of oxygen atoms is excess in the right hand side. There are actually 4 excess oxygen atoms. For these 4 excess oxygen atoms we have to add 4 H2O on the left hand side. Now the oxygen is balanced. Now we will have to balance the number of hydrogen atoms. Now here in the left hand side 8 hydrogen atoms are excess. To balance these hydrogen atoms we have to then add 8H plus on the right hand side. Now the manganese, oxygen and hydrogen atoms are balanced. Now we have to balance the charge on each side of the equation. In the left hand side actually there is total 2 positive charge. In the right hand side there is actually total 7 positive charge. Now to balance the charge we have to add 5 electron here, and we are giving it as number 1 equation. Okay, now we'll have to balance the reduction half reaction. In the reduction half reaction also bismuth is already balanced. Now we will have to balance the oxygen and hydrogen atoms. To balance the oxygen atoms we have to add 3 water on the right hand side. Now to balance the hydrogen we have to add 6H plus on the left hand side. Now here in this case In the left hand side actually it is having total plus 5 positive charge. In the right hand side it is having total plus 3 positive charge. It is having total plus 5 positive charge and it is having total plus 3 positive charge. Now to balance, we have to add 2 electron on the left hand side and we are giving it as equation number 2. Now how will you balance or how will you get the overall reaction? We will multiply 1 into 2 and then 2 into 5, right? 1 into 2 and then 2 into 5, and we will get the final equation as, you will also do this homework. We will get the final equation. Whatever you will get, that would be that would not be the final equation. That should be derived further. যেটা এইখান থেকে যেটা আমরা পাবো সেটাও কিন্তু ফাইনাল ইকুয়েশন হবে না, ফার্দার এটা ডিরাইভ করতে হবে। কারণ কি, মনে করো ডান দিকে আমার 5টা ওয়াটার এলো, বাঁ দিকে 2টো ওয়াটার এলো, তাহলে কি হবে, টোটাল ডান দিকে আমার 3টে ওয়াটার থাকবে। তাই সেটাকে আমার ফার্দার ডিরাইভ করতে হবে, যেটা এলো সেটাকে আমি আবার ফার্দার ডিরাইভ করব, এন্ড দ্য ফাইনাল ইকুয়েশন উই উইল গেট দ্যাট 5 BiO3 minus plus 14H plus 2Mn2 plus, which is being converted to 5Bi3 plus 7H2O plus 2MnO4 minus. Okay, this would be the final equation. Okay, now we are moving to the last example of this class. Now this example is basically in the basic medium, so that would be somehow different. The step 1 would be the same. So in step 1 we will just try to figure out the oxidation and reduction half reaction. So here it is giving that P4 is being converted to H2PO2 minus plus PH3. So there is the single reactant, that is phosphorus. Okay, the all over oxidation state of P4 would be 0 because it is in general in the atomic form, so it would be the 0 oxidation state. In case of H2PO2, there would be oxidation state of this phosphorus would be there is 2H plus, and then there is 2 plus charge for this 2 oxygen. There would be 4 minus, so ultimately it would have actually plus 1 oxidation state. I think it would have only plus 1 oxidation state, right? And what would be the in case of pH3? In case of pH3 it would have actually minus 3 oxidation state. Okay, so we have already got the oxidation half reaction and we have already got the reduction half reaction. So the oxidation half reaction would be P4 to H2PO2 minus, right? This would be the oxidation half reaction, right? And the reduction half reaction would be that P4 to PH3, that would be the reduction half reaction. So I think that it is so far it is good, right? Now we'll have to do the more mathematical purpose, right? So now we'll have to balance the oxidation half reaction and reduction half reaction separately. We are just considering now the oxidation half reaction. In case of oxidation half reaction, we have to balance the number of phosphorus atoms first, because the phosphorus atom is undergoing the change in oxidation number. So here in the oxidation half reaction, in the left hand side there is 4 phosphorus and in the right hand side there is only 1 phosphorus. To balance the phosphorus we will give 4H2PO2 minus. Okay, now the phosphorus atom is balanced. Now we'll have to balance the number of oxygen and hydrogen atoms. Now here in this case there is actually total 8 excess oxygen atom on the right hand side. For each excess oxygen atom we will have to add same number of water on that side and 2 times of OH minus on the other side of the equation, right? So here total 8 excess oxygen, so we will add total as it is having total 8 oxygen, so therefore we will add total 8 water on the same side and then 16 OH minus to the other side. Okay, say if you are doing that, then the oxygen atoms will be balanced, because in the right hand side there would be total 16 oxygen atom, in the left hand side there would be total 16 oxygen atom. Now oxygen atom is balanced. Now we will have to balance the total number of hydrogen atoms. In the right hand side total number of hydrogen atoms are 16 plus 8, so there are actually 24 hydrogen atoms, and in the left hand side there is only 16 hydrogen atoms. So in the right hand side the number of hydrogen atoms are excess. In the right hand side there are actually total 8 number of hydrogen atoms are excess, right? দেখো আমার ডান দিকে কটা আছে, ডান দিকে আমার হাইড্রোজেন অ্যাটম আছে এই 4 দুগুণে 8 আর 8 দুগুণে 16 মানে 24, আর বাম দিকে আছে 16, তাহলে টোটাল আমার 8টা হাইড্রোজেন অ্যাটম এক্সেস। Now for each excess hydrogen atom we have to add same number of OH minus on that side and 1 water to the other side। তাহলে এখানে আমার কটা, এখানে আমার 8টা, যেহেতু আমার হাইড্রোজেন বেশি তাহলে ততগুলো আমি OH মাইনাস আমি এদিকে অ্যাড করব, আর তত সংখ্যক ওয়াটার তাহলে আমি উল্টো দিকে অ্যাড করব। Now you can see that the hydrogens are balanced. Now in the right hand side the total number of hydrogens are 8 plus 16 24 plus 8, that is 32, and in the left hand side also 32 number of hydrogens. Okay, now you have to balance the charge. Now in the left hand side total number of total charge is minus 16, as there is 16 OH minus, so in the left hand side there is total 16 negative charge. In the right hand side actually it is having total 12 negative charge, 4 H2PO2 minus, that is 4 minus charge, and then here it is 8 minus, so there is 12 minus charge, whereas in the left hand side there is 16 minus charge. So we have to add here 4 electron to balance the overall equation, and it can be named as number 1. So we'll now balance the next reduction half reaction. So in this case also the phosphorus should be balanced, so here it would be 4pH3 in the right hand side. Now the phosphorus is balanced and the oxygen doesn't need to be balanced as there is no oxygen atom. So now we will have to balance only the hydrogen atoms. Now in case of hydrogen atoms we will have to add same number of OH minus to the through that side, and same number of H2O to other side of the equation. So here 12 excess hydrogen, so we will add 12 OH minus on the same side and then 12 water to the opposite side of the equation. Okay, so now you can see that total number of hydrogen and oxygen atoms are balanced, right? So here actually total 24 hydrogen atom, so here it is also 24 hydrogen atom and 12 oxygen atom on the left hand side and 12 oxygen atom on the right hand side. Now we have to balance the charge. In the right hand side actually there is total 12 negative charge, where in the left hand side there is actually 0 charge, or it is neutral itself. So therefore we will have to add 12 electron on the left hand side, okay, because there is excess of positive charge, that is 12. So therefore we will have to add 12 electron on the left hand side, and you can name this equation as 2. Okay, so now we will get the final equation by multiply 1 with 3, then it can be added with 2 which is multiplied by only 1, right? Because if you are giving it is having the 4 electron and here it is having the 12 electron, so therefore we can multiply the equation number 1 with 3 and then we can add only with 2 to get the final equation, and whatever we will get that can be further derived, whatever we will get that can be further derived, because আমরা যেটা পাবো সেখানে ফর এক্সাম্পল যে বাঁদিকে আমার 6টা OH মাইনাস এলো, ডান দিকে 10টা OH মাইনাস এলো, তাহলে সেগুলো কাটাকুটি করব এবং আমরা দেখাবো ডান দিকেও 4টে OH মাইনাস, তাই যেটাকে আমরা পাবো সেটাকে আমরা ফার্দার ডিরাইভ করব, আমি দেখবো আরো ছোট করা যায় কিনা। তাহলে এই দুটো যখন সামেশন করে আমরা যেটাই পাবো না কেন সেটাকে আমরা ফার্দার আমার ডিরাইভ করতে হবে। মানে কি, মনে করো এই যে এখান থেকে এটা আমরা করছি, এখান থেকে আমরা কি পাবো বলো তো, এখান থেকে আমি এটা অনেক বড় ইকুয়েশন পাবো, যেটা পাবো সেটা হচ্ছে ফর এক্সাম্পল P4 প্লাস পাবো কি 12H2O প্লাস মনে করো আবার এখানে পাবো সেটা হচ্ছে 3P4 এলো, প্লাস আসবে 24H2O প্লাস পাবো 48 OH মাইনাস, যেটা কনভার্ট হচ্ছে আমার 4pH3 প্লাস 12 OH মাইনাস প্লাস 12H2PO2 minus plus 24H2O plus 24OH minus. Now this equation should be derived further. Why? Because here in the left hand side there is total 36H2O, in the right hand side there is 12H2O. So these 12H2O should be cut, or it should be there should be no H2 in the right hand side, and in the left hand side there should be only 12H2O. Okay, This should be cut. Okay, so therefore it should be further derived, and the final equation we will get, that is 4p4 plus 12h2o plus 12OH minus, which is being converted to, that can be a equal sign, as you are balancing, that can be a equal sign, and it will be converted into 4pH3 plus 12H2PO2 minus. Okay, so we have already gone through some examples. So this is the total ion electron method balance. So whatever we have learned, that is, to balance the redox reaction by ion electron method, there are several steps. The first step was to divide the equation into two half reaction. One would be the oxidation half reaction, another would be the reduction half reaction. So now we will have to balance the oxidation half reaction and reduction half reaction separately. Now to balance the each half reaction, we have to balance the number the atoms first, which is undergoing the change in their oxidation number. Now if the atom is balanced, then we have to balance the number of oxygen and hydrogen atoms. Now there can be two types of balance, because there can be two types of solution. One is the acidic or neutral solution, another would be the alkaline solution. Now if the solution is acidic or neutral, then the balance of oxygen and hydrogen can be done by adding water and H+. Now for each excess oxygen atom on one side, you will have to add one water to the other side of the equation. Now the oxygen will be balanced. Now if hydrogen is balanced, then that is okay. Now if hydrogen is still unbalanced, you will have to add, for each excess hydrogen on one side, you will have to add same number of H+ to the other side of the equation. Now the hydrogen would be balanced. And the final thing is that to balance the charge, and to balance the charge, you will have to add electrons. For each excess positive charge on one side of the equation, you will have to add same number of electrons to that side of the equation. So ultimately it would be balanced. Same would be the case of reduction half reaction, but in case of alkaline solution, the balance of this oxygen and hydrogen can be done in a different way, because here you cannot add H+. Instead of H+, you will have to add OH- as the solution is alkaline. So you will have to add OH- and water in case of alkaline solution. For each oxygen atom on one side, you will have to add one water to the same side of the equation and 2 OH- to the other side of the equation. Now if hydrogen is now the oxygen is balanced. Now if hydrogen is balanced, then that is okay. Now if hydrogen is still unbalanced, then you have to balance the hydrogen atom. For each excess hydrogen atom, you will have to add same number of OH- to that side and same number of water to the opposite side of the equation. Now the hydrogen would be balanced. Now we will have to balance the charge through the number of electrons. Okay, so ultimately the oxidation half reaction and reduction half reaction is balanced. Now the last step would be, you will have to multiply these each half reaction by a suitable number, so that by adding these two equations, the total number of electrons will be balanced. Okay, so this is basically the theory behind the ion electron method. So if still you have any doubt regarding this ion electron method, you can directly contact us at NS Institute through the website www.nsinstitute.com, or you can directly send us a mail at nsinstitute@gmail.com, or you can call, message or WhatsApp us in the given number. Thank you for watching this video.